Wow, there's just no flattering light. So today is Monday, Memorial Day. It's the day before I leave. I am packing up my apartment, which is interesting and stressful. I've had these huge storage boxes that I've been trying to squish into my car, and it's been a game of Tetris because these boxes are very large, and my car, like, it fits a lot of stuff, but I wasn't super great about how much stuff I accumulated over the last few years while I've been in Providence. But tomorrow morning I am taking off and driving on my way to Florida to my new house. And I'll be stopping in Fayetteville, North Carolina, but I just sort of wanted to document the process. So right now it's like almost 6 o'clock in the evening. I've been packing all day since I got up at 9. And it's been a lot of unpacking, repacking, and then taking breaks. And I'm doing it all by myself. So there's just, it's very overwhelming and tiring physically. It's just, these boxes are pretty heavy, and being in Rhode Island, none of these houses are built very moving friendly. I'm pretty sure they're like not even up to code. The stairways are so narrow and they all curve. So it's been a bit of a struggle hauling everything to the car. My strategy has sort of been doing the biggest things first and then taking breaks when I can. So right now I would say like 2 big items left to pack in the car, and that's the big storage box of kitchen things that I have downstairs, and then a suitcase with all of my remaining things. And I kept telling my parents when they were visiting, oh, it'll be fine, like everything will fit in the car. And then throughout the day I've just sort of been like panicking because they were all very skeptical that everything was going to fit, and I was like, no, it's going to fit. And now I'm kind of like, oh, maybe it's not going to fit. And I was like starting to set some things aside that I could maybe donate. And it's too late to sell everything because I'm leaving in like 12 to 15 hours depending on how early I get up. But yeah, so right now I've got this suitcase, and originally my plan and what I did when I moved into this apartment was that I just took all of these clothes and I just kind of shoved them in there in no particular fashion, and it worked out fine enough then, but it's not working now. So I've done all of the laundry, pretty much everything I have is clean, and now I'm rolling things or folding things and putting them in vacuum bags, and then with the vacuum bags I'm taking the air out and either putting those directly in the car, or maybe these ones will go inside the suitcase. I haven't decided yet. But yeah, the plan to sort of throw things together and throw them in the car and then go is not panning out. So it'll be interesting to see how things turn out. I'm going to try, and I don't know if you can really vlog a road trip super well. Otherwise it's just like, hi, I'm stopping again. Hi, like, I'm tired, or like, this is what I'm listening to. So I'm going to document this as best as I can, maybe a few time lapses of the road. We will see. But this is sort of just me running my mouth until I figure out what I'm doing with my life. So stick around and see what happens. This car is packed to the gills. I mean, you can't see anything all the way through. We've got toaster oven, storage boxes of stuff and things in every single nook and cranny. Look at that. Every inch used. Wild times. And another view. Packed. Good morning. It is Tuesday. It's 6:30 a.m. and I have got this car so freaking packed. There's like no free space. And you're probably asking, why would you bring flowers? It's taking like a random amount of space. Well, I got them for graduation. I didn't want to get rid of them just yet. They were still nice, and I figure if I'm gonna be stuck in this car for the next 12 hours today and another 8 hours tomorrow, I might as well have something nice sitting in here. Honestly, I'll probably get halfway through the drive and then feel like I need to ditch them. But anyway, we're here. It is the day. I have been in Providence for the last 5 years, except for when I took time off. So it's time to move on to new things, a new place to call home. I'm so ready to be out of this place. It's interesting because every year that I've been here, I've pretty much been miserable and I've hated it and been feeling real sorry for myself. And then as soon as graduation hit, I got kind of nostalgic or started to get like escape amnesia. I like made it through and forgot how bad things really were and got caught up in the whole commencement thing. I mean, the ceremonies and stuff were really beautiful and made me feel much more proud of my school, but I'm really ready to get out of Rhode Island. So here it goes. I might, like I said, might try to document this somehow. I mean, this is the first time I'm driving by myself for this long in a car this jam-packed, so I feel like I've got to do something. So we'll see what happens. What up, what up? So it is 1:30-ish, which means that I left Providence almost exactly 7 hours ago, and right now I'm driving through Baltimore, passing by the Baltimore airport. And it's interesting because for the last 5 years, every time I've gone back to Providence from home, I've almost always, with the exception of like a few times, had a layover in Baltimore, and that was always my stopping point. And that's how I knew I was getting closer, because from Baltimore to Providence, the flight is only like an hour long. So the contrast is that now I'm going the opposite direction and I'm driving and it's taken 7 hours, but I feel like I've been making pretty good time. Once I get out of Baltimore, I'm stopping to get gas. I actually haven't stopped at all since I started driving. So that's no stops for gas, no stops for food, no stops for drinks, no stops to pee. I've just kind of been going straight through, and aside from a little bit of traffic on the George Washington Bridge in New York City, everything's been pretty smooth so far. I've just been catching up on podcasts. I had a little bit of rain in Jersey, and then listening to some music. And I think the real point to making good time on a road trip, especially when you're by yourself and not making so many stops, is that like everything that goes in has to come out. So if you don't put anything in, then you don't have to stop to let things out. So I like expressly chose not to get any caffeine or any liquids, because I can't drink anything slowly. I like one of those people that slurps everything down, and then like 20 minutes later, like clockwork, my bladder is completely full. So anyway, there's my journey time indicator. It's been 7 hours since I left, and I'm about to make my very first stop to fill up on gas and probably to get lunch. I feel like since I've made it 7 hours, I'm more than halfway to my stopping point, which is in Fayetteville, or somewhere around Fayetteville. The route that I decided to take, I don't know if it's the fastest one, but I got on 95 in Providence, I-95, and I'm taking I-95 all the way to Florida, and then in Jacksonville, or just after Jacksonville, is when I get on I-4. So the nice thing is that I don't have to use a GPS or follow any directions. I just gotta stay on the highway. So anyway, that's where I'm at right now. I am starting to feel hungry, even though normally it's like if you don't eat, then you don't really get hungry because your metabolism hasn't really gotten going. I haven't eaten since last night, so when I stop for gas, I'm gonna try and pick a good rest stop. They have those rest stations that have a couple of different food choices. Most of them are fast food. Like they have like Taco Bell, Pizza Hut, McDonald's, and whatnot. But I think a couple of them, now that we're in the South, or at least approaching the South, will have a Chick-fil-A. So I might stop at a Chick-fil-A if I see one, or anything else that looks better. But that's all I've got for now. So I just wanted to give a quick update for this documentary thing vlog that I'm making. I'd hardly call it a vlog though. Flowers are still kicking. The car is still super duper cramped, and I can only really use one 1.5 of my mirrors. So it's been an interesting drive so far, especially when the weather wasn't cooperating. But it's nice and sunny. It's almost 90 degrees here in Baltimore, so it's been a good drive so far. And yeah, I'm getting ready to stop, so that's my update. Okay, so quick little update since 10 minutes ago. My low tire pressure light has just come on, which makes me a little bit worried because I got a nail in my tire the other week and they patched it, but didn't replace the tire, and I'm only halfway through this drive for today's portion, not even for tomorrow, which means I'm like really only a quarter or a third of the way through this entire drive. I'm really hoping it's not that tire, but that means that instead of waiting until after I got through DC to get gas and stop, I'm just stopping now to check on this tire and put air in my tires, and I'm really hoping that there's nothing wrong with it, because that will put a total wrench in all of my plans. So yeah, this is just a little bit worrisome, and I'm hoping that it's all right. But yeah, there's nothing quite like seeing a light on your dash start flashing when you don't want it to. So we shall see. So I just stopped at the gas station, filled up, put air in my tires. I filled all 4 of them up. My light is still on, so I'm hoping that it's the spare, and if it's not, then I'm probably screwed later on. I'm gonna stop again after DC to get food, because there was no food at the gas station that I just stopped at, and I'll check the tires again, and if they still look low, then I will worry. But for now, I'm just back on the highway and hoping that this light turns off, but I don't think it will. The car feels fine, it's like driving fine. I don't feel like one of the tires is flat or is losing air. I didn't hear any air escaping when I was getting the tire filled, so if there's no air escaping and I had it filled to the correct pressure, then it should be fine, but we will see. This is the first sort of interesting thing that's happened on this road trip so far, but yeah. Anyway, I'll probably update once I stop for food and check this tire again in, who knows, half an hour, we'll see. So I hit some traffic right after I got into Virginia. Decided to stop for some food. I think I'm in Woodbridge, Virginia. The line at Chick-fil-A is mad long. It's like wraps around the building twice for just the drive-thru, and then the inside is not any better. So I went to Chipotle instead, ate, and now I'm about to get back on the road again. I think I've got like 3 or so hours left, and I'm hoping that I'm not just gonna end up hitting like rush hour traffic in Richmond, but we'll see. I'm guessing that I'll get to Fayetteville around 7:30, since with my stops and everything, I ended up adding about an hour to my travel time. So yeah, and then I'm gonna take a big fat rest for the night. So once I stopped at Chipotle, I did get a drink, which means I do have caffeine in my system now, and fluid, so the chances of me needing to pee are much higher, but I'm hoping I don't have to stop between now and when I get to the hotel. So we'll see how that goes. The rest of this drive is dedicated to the Beyonce Homecoming album, which I will just be listening to and jamming out to probably 1.5 times through. So, yep, that's it for now. What up? Time for another update. I am in North Carolina now, which is nice, except I am still 2 hours away from my destination, which sucks because I'm already hitting hour 12 of being on the road. And I would like to owe my delay entirely to the state of Virginia. That's got some real bad traffic. Man, that really messed me up. There was that whole situation with my tire, but that really only took a couple of minutes because I just filled up my tires with air when I stopped to get gas. But the amount of time that I spent just sitting in slow-moving traffic in Virginia, I think took up the majority of my time delay, because I was expecting that I would get to my destination 1 hour from now, instead of 2 hours and some change from now, which isn't a ton, I guess, but considering that I was only planning on driving for 12 hours today, and the fact that I'm already at 12 hours is just a little bit annoying. I did have that Coke with my Chipotle, so liquid and caffeine, which means I did have to stop to pee. Ugh. I say not because peeing is gross, but because I'm just annoyed because I knew it was going to happen. Yeah, so I'm just like a little bit off schedule, and my service is going in and out, so I'm like hoping that my parents aren't trying to call me. And I was going to use this time to make a couple of phone calls, since I'm on the road not doing anything, but I can't do that because I have no service in, the middle of nowhere, North Carolina. So anyway, I've still got 128 miles, I think, before I get to where I'm staying for the night, which hopefully will take a little under 2 hours if I drive quickly, but not too quickly because I got to be safe, and you don't want to get fined for speeding. But yeah, so that's just my little mini update. I'm still jamming to Beyonce, and I might put in a podcast for the last little stretch of my drive so it'll go by a little bit faster. But yeah, I'm just really looking forward to laying down, being completely horizontal, and then maybe taking a bath to soak my legs, because between packing yesterday and then just sitting on my butt all day today, and then also just like the flexion of my feet doing these pedals for the gas and the brake, my body's a little bit tired, and I keep wanting to stretch, and there's limited space in the car anyway, but there's even less space because this thing is so packed full. The flowers are looking kind of sad. They have water, but they're just not thriving anymore. So, my hope to have a little bit of freshness. I guess it did some good for today, but I think I'll probably toss them tonight, which might free up a little bit of space in this front seat. But tomorrow's drive will be shorter, and I'll have more sleep because I didn't really sleep last night. I usually have a hard time sleeping before traveling, especially like for big trips, and especially when I have to pack. And last night I was so nervous about stuff fitting in my car and trying to pack everything, and I like had drinks with my roommates and then said that I was just going to finish it all in the morning. And then the longer I was in my room looking at the remaining items, so I started freaking out more that they weren't going to fit into my car. So I was up until 1, maybe like 1:15, walking back and forth from my room, which is on the 3rd floor of my building, down to my car, and just putting things and rearranging them. And then I couldn't sleep very well. I was up at like 5 or 5:30. Tried to go back to sleep, woke up again at 6:15, and even though I wasn't planning on leaving until 8, I ended up just leaving at 6:30, 6:45, which I'm glad that I did now, because otherwise that would have put me in my hotel even later. And right now it's putting me there at like 8:30, which is already later than I want to be checking into a hotel, especially if I want to grab food. I feel like some of these places in these like smaller towns, they don't stay open 24 hours. So anyway, now I'm just ranting to this camera, my phone, but that's where I'm at. That's my update. And yeah, here we go, final stretch. Last update, I'm about 20 minutes away from my hotel, and I stopped for some food. as I am in the South and I have not been in the South for a while, I got Bojangles and Cookout. So from Bojangles, just got some chicken and biscuits and then awesome gravy, and then a milkshake from Cookout, because what else are you gonna do when you go to Cookout? So I'm just having a quick dinner in the car while I'd head back down the highway to get to my exit, and then I'm calling it a night, and then tomorrow the adventure continues. It is now 8:45 and I just got to the hotel. I stopped for food at Cookout and Bojangles. Honestly, the Cookout milkshake was super disappointing. I didn't even finish it. I had a couple bites. Got the peach cobbler one, and it was, I mean, like, it's how they make milkshakes. They put like whatever flavor you want inside of a blender with like plain vanilla ice cream and milk, but the ice cream just like wasn't good. Neither was the peach cobbler, so it was like all of the components of the milkshake weren't good, so therefore the milkshake was not good. Anyway, I just got to the hotel. I'm gonna check in and get some rest, and then I don't know what time I'm leaving in the morning. It's a much shorter day of driving, so I don't need to leave quite as early, but I guess it just depends on how well I sleep. But then it's back into this overcrowded thing. The flowers, I think, are going to go. So a little bit more space, but yep, I'm definitely ready to be done with the driving for today. Good morning. It is Wednesday. It's almost 8:45, and I'm getting ready to head out from North Carolina to make it to Florida. Yay! I'm gonna top off my gas and probably get some food. I ate Bojangles last night and it did not agree with my stomach, but I'm probably gonna get it again because it was very tasty, and I don't know if we have them in Orlando. Decided to keep these flowers. They're not totally dead yet. Yeah, so I'm about to hit the road. I think I've got 8 hours or a little under 8 hours ahead of me if I don't hit any traffic, and it's just a straight shot down 95 and then quick turn onto I-4, and then I'm there. So yep, I'm ready. I've even got my little running Mickey hat. So yeah, that's the update. The low pressure on my tire light is still on. All of my tires look fine. I'm guessing it's the spare. The car's been driving just fine. Maybe that's a little reckless, but you know, I'm just trying to get there and I'll get it checked out later. So yeah, that's the update for this morning, and let's hit the road. I am a happy Texan. I made it to Jacksonville, which is the closest Whataburger from Orlando. There's a bunch of them here, but I'm stopping to get gas, and then I've got this last stretch of drive, probably like 2.5 hours. Like I just keep going down. Once I hit Daytona Beach, hang a right on I-4, and then it's a straight shot home. Yeah, so I stopped at Whataburger and I got a honey butter chicken sandwich, which is, you know, the loophole to getting honey butter when it's not in the morning. So like you can't order a honey butter chicken biscuit after like 10 a.m. or something like that. But you can get it on Texas Toast as a sandwich. So it's like you order the honey barbecue chicken strip sandwich and then swap the barbecue sauce for honey butter. And it's a nice little hack. So I'm going to enjoy this and some sweet tea, because I haven't had real sweet tea in ages. So yeah, I'm gonna have that, get back on the road after I get some gas, and then I will be done with this road trip. The end is so close. So I've just been listening to podcasts the last few hours. I think this stretch was probably like 5 hours of driving so far, maybe 5.5, because I left this morning at like 8:45 or something. I don't even remember what time it is, but I just know that I am close to being done. So I have that to look forward to, and this food, and then that will end my documentation of this road trip. So I'm trying to get after it. I totally forgot to put an update for when I arrived. I arrived like a long time ago. It's like 10 o'clock now. I got here around 5-ish or so. I got into Orlando 4:30 maybe, but there was some traffic because it was rush hour and it took me a little bit longer to get to my townhouse. But yeah, now I'm here and I've moved half of the things out of my car and am sort of just hanging out in a mostly empty room until the rest of my furniture is arriving in a couple of days when my sister and my dad drive it down. But can't see because it's dark, but down there's all these boxes, storage boxes, and that's where all my stuff is, and the rest of it is still in the car, in the garage. But yeah, I made it, and I'm in my new townhouse, and I'm so excited about the fact that I don't have to move again after this, at least not for a while. And I'm so glad about this because it's been so tiring. So I'm just gonna watch some TV, some videos, Netflix, Hulu, who knows, and call it a night. And then tomorrow I've got a bunch of errands to run, and then I will be fully moved in. So thanks for tagging along. If you tagged along, or I don't even know if anybody's gonna watch this. It's probably gonna end up being kind of long and ranty, but that's that on that. Goodbye.